Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Ganganapate Namaha. Om Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Deva Maheshwaraha. Gurureva Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Sarva Mangala Mangalle Shive Sarvartha Sadike. Sharanye Trambake Devi Narayani Namostute. Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Mahalakshmi Rupena Samstita. Namastasya, 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 Namo Namaha. Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Shakti Rupena Samstita. Namastasya, 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 Namo Namaha. Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Bhakti Rupena Samstita. Namastasya, 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 Namo Namaha. Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Vritti Rupena Samstita. Namastasya, 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 Namo Namaha. Om Aim Hrim Klim Chamundaye Viche Swaha. Om Namo Narayanaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Rudraya. Om Namo Bhagavate Rudraya. Om Namah Shivaya. Shri Radha Krishnaya Namo Namaha. Om Shri Radhaye Namaha. Shri Hanumate Namaha. Welcome to Nitya Satsang. Today is the 16th of November 2025. I want to offer my prostrations and Anantakoti Namaskara to all the great sages and to Bhagwan residing in the heart of every single being. We are continuing to examine the extraordinary ideas in Sanatana Dharma, and specifically Gnan Shakti, Ichha Shakti, Kriya Shakti, how they are connected together, to continue from last several days. And I want to try to pull this together, to bridge together some of the ideas that we have been discussing. So Sharanagati is a point that we had made on several, maybe like 4 or 5 days ago, that there were 6 specific classical attitudes of Sharanam. If you remember this, I just put that in the group chat just as a reminder, and that is the Anukulasya Sankalpa. Anukulasya Sankalpa is 1, Pratikulasya Varjanam is 2, and the third is Rakshasati. I'm trying to pronounce it clearly. I'm not sure how to pronounce it exactly, but it is faith that the divine offers protection. Hold on one second. I got to change my glasses here because I'm wearing the wrong glasses. These are my computer glasses here. Here we go. And then there's number 5 is Atma Nikshepaha. Number 6 is Karpanya. If you remember this, we talked about this before. I want to connect these 6 with the Gnan Shakti, Ichha Shakti, Kriya Shakti, and then see their interconnection with regards to Ishwar Pranidhan, which is part of the Ashtanga Yoga. So let's see if we can bridge these points together. First of all, Sharanagati, this word Sharanagati, it literally means taking shelter, and Purana Sharanagati means taking total shelter of God. That I'm at your feet. We've taking shelter is the surrender of the Ahankar. Ahankar doesn't want to surrender itself to anybody, especially God. It doesn't want to surrender itself to anything or anybody. That is the nature of Ahankar. We've been talking about that also. That is the ego, the individualized Aham. It has its place, no doubt, as we mentioned the other day. But nonetheless, it has to be surrendered. Now, this is a key psycho-spiritual, meaning psychological, energetic process of inner development. So if you're taking notes, please write these 6 down, and it's good to write them down. I put them in the chat, but write it down in your own words. You can do some more research on it if you want, with all the AIs and everything available now. And it's, conceptual understanding is what we're looking for initially, but that's not the goal. The goal is, realization. Just Sharanam. Sachin is talking about Sharanagati, but is it really in my life? I have to see that in Bhakti and Bhagwan ke saath, Sant Parampara ke saath jo ज्ञान मिला है, whatever it may be, we have to look inside ourselves about Sharanagati. It's an attitude. It is an approach. It is a retuning of our perspective about who I am and who is God, and what is the connection with Paramatma. So, anukulasya sankalpaha. That's a big point here. Sankalpa means, our resolve, our will. I want to do this. This is Ichha Shakti. The Ichha is a Sankalpa. Sankalpa has Ichha. So it is taking an active stance, not a passive, just life is just going on. Not like that. It is a deliberate adopting and taking an active stance. I hope that's clear. So we're making bullet points. Write this down. Take an active stance. What is this active stance means? I'm making a decision. It's a resolve to live my life that is anukulasya sankalpa, that is in alignment with the divine will of divya ichha. Bhagwan ki kya ichha hai? And how do we know what that is? That is why we have scripture, Shastra. Shastra ka meaning hi wo hai. Shastra is written by sages in communion, in connection with God, Bhagwan. And they are aware, they are given blessings by Paramatma to write Shastra that expresses divya ichha. There's two. Now we have a fourth word here. We have Gyan Shakti, Kriya Shakti, Ichha Shakti. We have three words, right? But those three need to be or can be retuned, or tuning of these three into Divya Ichha. ये जरा पॉइंट बहुत महत्व का पॉइंट है. हमारी जो निज इच्छा है, स्व इच्छा, और इच्छा में शक्ति है. दैट शक्ति इज, वो शक्ति तो दिव्य ही है. दैट शक्ति इज ऑलवेज दिव्य. शक्ति इज नेवर नॉट दिव्य. किसी भी प्रकार की शक्ति, इवन इन काम, क्रोध, लोभ, मोह, मत्सर, इस सब में शक्ति, वो शक्ति तो दिव्य ही है. दैवी ऐशा गुणमयी, भगवान स्वयं कहते हैं. शक्ति इज नेवर नॉट दिव्य. शक्ति इज ऑलवेज दिव्य. But its expression in the Jivatma, when that Shakti is pratikulasya varjanam, I'm sorry, I didn't say that right. When that Shakti is functioning as pratikulasya, pratikul means what? Rejection of what is divya ichha. See this ichha Shakti, which is our nij ichha. The two words, nij means mine. Nij, the word nij, N-I-J. Nij means me, close to me. Nija, like nijatmanam, it's within, close to me, within me, like this. Nij ichha, my ichha, close, my, we are very well aware of what that is. With the objects of the senses, with the people of the world, the things that I want, I desire, me, mine, I, my, this thing, and the desires that go on. Nij ichha. So there's nij ichha, and then superseded, if we're to take that nij ichha and connect it with divya ichha, bhagavat ichha, Bhagwan ki sant ki ichha. If you want to know what is the will of Ramakrishna Paramans, read Ramakrishna Paramans's Kathamrut. Shri Shri Ramakrishna Kathamrutam. That is the ichha there. What Bhagwan Krishna has taught in the Gita, wo Krishna Bhagwan ki ichha hai. What Sant Gnaneshwar ji has taught in Gnaneshwari, wo unka gyan hai isme. What Guru नानक देव जी ने लिखा है वो गुरु ग्रंथ साहब में है, इसका अभ्यास करना चाहिए। वचनामृत में लिखा है भगवान स्वामीनारायण का, तो उस वचनामृत में उनकी इच्छा है। भगवान और भगवान के जो संत है, जिसको साक्षात्कार हुआ है, उन they have expressed not from निज इच्छा, they have the expression that is written in the scriptures is called दिव्य इच्छा, दिव्य संदेश। इसको बोध कहते हैं, इसको ब्रह्म बोध कहते हैं, इसमें आत्मबोध। शंकराचार्य जी himself, everything Shankaracharya ji is written, it is from anubhav, it is bodh. There's a scripture called Atma Bodh even. There's a scripture called Mani Ratnamala. I really want to cover that sometime. कितना सब इच्छा में जो हमारे अंतकरण में ऐसी कितनी इच्छा है, पर we only have 24 hours in the day. So जो भी परमात्मा की इच्छा, but that's good, that we want to keep moving in this direction. कितनी क्या अमृत दिया है ये संतों ने. My God, you take the scripture like Mani Ratnamala. You may have never heard of this. Mani Ratnamala is 175 questions and answers. 175 questions. Each question is small questions and beautiful small answers. And those answers are not, the questions are actually very big questions. And the answers are also very profound. But they are written in small verses in Sanskrit. One of them is Jitam Jagat Kena. This is a question. Who is it that has won the world? Manohiyena. One who has won the mind has won the world. See, so who created this? Adi Shankaracharya ji. 175. Beautiful question, because he knows that reading thousands of scriptures is very hard. So he created Mani Ratnamala. Mani meaning, the jewels. Ratnamala. Mala meaning the garland, right? Ratna meaning diamonds. Money meaning the money and jewels like this. So these are 175 jewels, garland of extraordinary jewels, not the physical jewels, but that's an analogy that is used. He uses a lot of these jewel analogy, like Vivek Chudamani. Chudamani is the crest jewel. See, he's trying to use those worldly examples like jewels or diamonds and all. Why? Because we see them as extremely precious. The language he has put, the Sanskrit language Adi Shankaracharya ji has put, these are jewels for liberation. Quote jewels. They're not physical jewels. They're precious like that. If you have $1 billion jewel, my God, if you go to Washington D.C., you have that Museum of Natural History. If you have not been there, go there sometime. Kitna amazing. They have some extraordinary diamonds, in the millions of dollars. Museum of Natural History. It is right across from the Air and Space Museum. Washington DC has over 50 museums. Kitna maja aayega. Maybe we should organize a trip sometime. Lot of fun stuff is there. And for us to grow. Kitni sundar baat hai. Mani Ratnamala. Why this is written? It is written from Divya Ichha. This is the point. हमारी जो इच्छा है वो हमारा अहम है. That is our ego. Why that is there? That is the way the Jivatma is allowed to express its engulfment in Mahamaya. थोड़ी तात्विक बात है. Difficult to explain or even understand. But Jivatma is like Paramatma in terms of substance. It's not a physical substance, वो चैतन्य तत्व है. But it is engulfed inside Mahamaya, inside Agnan, inside. It is a barrier. What we say Maya or Mahamaya is a womb. It's a womb, not like, the womb is the expression, but it is hidden inside. It is remaining inside there. It has been inside there. So that Jivatma is given the opportunity to come out of Mahamaya. How is it given that opportunity? By granting the Jivatma this body, this human body. Other bodies are there also because it has to go through all of them. That's a big thing. I don't have time to go into that right now. That's a very complex and intricate subject, how that happens. But in simple language, why the human body, ये जो शरीर मिला है, it has extraordinary potentiality, which we don't realize. We don't realize it because we are stuck inside the aham and limitations. Even those limitations have a purpose. Everything has a purpose. Those limitations can take us further so we can recognize them and say, we want to let this go. And turn our vritti, our ichha, our desires, our vritti into this state of anukulasya sankalpaha. Anukulasya sankalpaha. The resolve to act in a way that is in alignment with the divine scriptures, with the divine, with the divya ichha. Divine is a Western word. It's alright. It's a very close word to divya. Divya ichha. Jesus की क्या इच्छा है? New Testament में पढ़ो. Jesus Christ की इच्छा, he has taught his teachings there. Very easy to understand, right? How this works. The sankalpa can come. That do I want? The sankalpa is also part of the Nij Ichha dimension, because freedom is granted to us. Freedom is given to us. We can go in any direction. We have always choice. Sachin has a choice today, because we're just living in today. Today is what, the 16th, right? 16th of November. I have a choice. Is this mind, brain, body, my hands, legs, nose, ears, is this all that is given? Is it going to function? Am I going to is it going to be allowed to function with, in alignment with divya ichha? I have to make the sankalpa. Sankalpa has to be made. That is why it is called anukulasya sankalpaha. Anukulasya sankalpaha. Anukul means in alignment with. And pratikulasya varjanam. These 2 points. To not deflect from Sharanam, from the divine connection, to not deflect at all. Deflection, detect deflection. So the rejection of that which opposes the divya ichha is called pratikulasya varjanam. Everything that doesn't connect with that ultimate goal, carefully, vivek se usko separate kar dena. Without doing this, mukti nahi ho sakti. Sorry. These 2 points, there's 6 of them. These are the first 2. Without doing these first 2, actually, without making, and nobody can do it for us. Bhagwan is not going to force us to do this. Koi bhi force nahi karega. We have to do this ourselves. Anukulasya sankalpaha pratikulasya varjanam. Kiski tayari hai? Sachin is only asking Sachin not to look at anybody else. 100% looking and being aware, what am I doing? See, Gunatitanand Swami कहते हैं, आप स्वामीनारायण मंदिर में जाएंगे, many people go. अभी तो बहुत मंदिरों हो गए, अक्षरधाम भी सब हो गया. You will see in the BAPS organization, you will see there's 2 murtis in the middle. The left one is Bhagwan Swaminarayan, Sajanand Swami Maharaj. उनके जो परम शिष्य भक्त थे, गुणातीतानंद स्वामी. So just for your information. तो गुणातीतानंद स्वामी के टीचिंग में उन्होंने बहुत सुंदर बात लिखी है. वो क्या कहते हैं कि नित्य विचार करो कि हूँ सु करूँ छु सु करवा आवे. Why am I here in this world? What am I to do with this body mind? नित्य पाछा वाली ने जो, in Gujarati, it's a beautiful. This language is so amazing. This Sant Parampara में उन्होंने क्या दिया है जगत को. He नित्य पाछा वाली ने दृष्टि करी. See yourself. It means turn the vritti internally. See, our ichha shakti is externalized. Isn't it so? हमारी जो इच्छा शक्ति है उसमें वासना है. Vasana is part of that. Vasana means the focused, intense wanting of that experience on a track. An example of vasana simply would be, having some really spicy dish at an Indian restaurant. They ask you, sir, would you like medium spicy, mild spicy, this spicy, that thing, this way, that way? I want bhindi masala, extra spicy, bhindi masala, medium spicy, this way, this way, this way. This sab chalta hai. What is all this thing? That is desire, ichha. But it is also vasana. We're not criticizing vasana. We want to understand it. So see, yes, that experience, it's the wanting of the experience through the object, the stimulative experience. This is called vasana, और वासना में शक्ति है. वो किसकी शक्ति है? देवी की शक्ति. देवी स्वयं शक्ति है. वासना शक्तये नमः. उसको भी नमस्कार करो. ललिता सहस्रनाम. क्या बात लिखी. अमेजिंग. ओम श्री वासना शक्तये नमः. अनंत प्रकार की वासनाओं है. People are running away from vasanas. They're indulging in vasanas. They're criticizing vasanas. They're getting tortured by vasanas. They are torturing themselves. They are trying to experience ananda by excessive bhog and all that. All this game goes on. Why? Because of the lack of realization of the Shakti inside vasana. And when the Shakti inside vasana reaches a sankalpa inside our brain body for anukulasya sankalpaha, when it transmutes into anukulasya sankalpaha, vasana changes itself into sadvasana. It is an internal transmutation. Vachanamrut, iyal bhamrinu vachanamrutam. The caterpillar that beautifully, and when the time comes, it transmutes into the butterfly. It is called transmutation. It is called a metamorphosis. It is our metamorphosis from Jiva to Shiva. It is our metamorphosis from the Pashu to Pashupati. It is our metamorphosis by the grace of Paramatma from a ordinary, tormented, confused, damaged human being into a very ethical, moral human being, dharmic human being that is becoming Manav, from Pashu to Manav. And then there's a transformation from Manav to Bhakta. Manavta bhi nahi hai, unfortunately, in life. That's why the wars and all that. We've talked about it before. We don't want to go into that again. Manav banna. Manav means to recognize that a human being, that we are in the human body, that we do not harm another human being. Ahimsa paramo dharmaha. All religions teach that. Even if you didn't have religions, our own bhavna inside naturally is that we should not, harming another person is harming yourself only. Harm is by physical harm, verbal harm, and mental harm. ये छोड़ देना. And if we're doing it today, प्रार्थना है भगवान के चरणों में, आप सबको प्रार्थना है, विश्व को प्रार्थना है, please, under no circumstances cause harm to somebody else. वचन से बिल्कुल नहीं. Watch out very carefully. वचन बहुत ध्यान रखना. क्या बोल रहे, किसको क्या बोल रहे, किस भाव से बोल रहे, किस दृष्टि से देख रहे. This is called Manav Dharma. It's not even about religion or about God or anything like that. This is just human level interaction, which we don't know. And so much problem and harm is being caused because of this. That is, see, so from the animal level, actually it's not even animal, it's below animal level, human being. Human being is not at animal level. If you were to ask animals to judge human beings, they would say, you people are less than where we are. You need to learn from us. And that is true. Human beings are, 90% of humanity is not even at animal level. If they were at animal level, that would be something amazing. Animals, they are functioning within a certain range. They don't just eat continuously like they're crazy eating. They have their set points. They mate during season. They are functioning based on a certain pattern. If human beings can even do that much, वो सब पशु है ना, they would be impressed. Now you have come to our level at least. Human beings are not at the animal level. Animal level के आ जाना पहला. First, come to that. Meaning, it means regulate one's life like animals do. Learn from them. We think we are so superior. हमारा अहंकार इतना है. We think we're so extraordinarily superior just because we have a bigger brain. All we have done with that bigger brain is we have dominated the world, and we have found a lot of ways to damage each other and to damage the animal kingdom also. And the plant kingdom and all the other kingdoms. कितना damage हुआ है on this planet. Who is responsible for this? Our intelligence is functioning in wrong direction. It needs to function in this anukulasya sankalpaha. Then all the damage will stop. And who is going to stop the damage? We have to stop it right now. Stop it in ourselves first. Stop it in our families first. Stop using negative language. Stop harming other people. Even with the mind we are harming other people. Hatred, negativity, harm, wishing harm on others. Maybe speaking language very sweet. अंतर में क्या चल रहा है? बहुत देखने जैसी बात है. Don't harm anyone. Anukulasya sankalpa. Write this down in bold letters. I'm telling myself, Sachin is not telling anybody else. कोई अधिकार नहीं किसी को कुछ कहना. The only person to be improved is oneself. When attention is placed 100% on oneself, everything will set automatically. Don't worry. भगवान स्वयं सेट कर देगा. You don't have to worry. भगवान स्वयं कहते उद्धरेद आत्मनात्मानम. शंकराचार्य जी कहते जितम जगत के न मनोही है न. अमृत बिंदु उपनिषद कहता है मन एव मनुष्यानाम कारणम बंध मोक्ष. So references are there. We know there's so many, and we need to talk about them. Jesus has said in the New Testament, take the log out of your eye before taking the speck out of your neighbor's eye. Find your deficiency first. Don't worry about before you're so interested in finding everybody else. This person is wrong here. This person is here. This person is like this. इसमें से we cannot progress anywhere in life that way. Of course there are problems. Of course there are deficiencies. Of course there are troubles. What can we do in a positive way? What can we do something that is helpful to others? This is called anukulisya sankalpa, to come to the manav level. Now ji abhi bhakti ki to baat bahut aage ki baat hai. Not even at the human level, not even at the animal level. First come to the animal level. Then come to the human level. Then from there, the satsanga process begins. Navadha bhakti begins. The extraordinary power of the brain opens up to wonder where this world came from. Who am I? Bhagwan kaun hai? Ye sab जीवन का लक्ष्य क्या है? To go from manav to bhakta level is what the scriptures are all about. शास्त्र सब लिखे हैं. महापुरुष आते हैं, महाजन. These are muktas, liberated beings that come into this world, taking human form to constantly awaken the humanity into that bhakti state, mukta state. That is our project here. Jivan Mukta project. Would like to call it that. जीवन मुक्त बनना है. लिख देना बोल्ड लेटर्स में, लगता है मैं कौन हूं? मैं जीवन मुक्त हूं. मैं मुक्त ही हूं, बस और कुछ नहीं. और इस पर ध्यान करना, इस पर मनन करना. दिस इज आवर आइडेंटिटी. आवर आइडेंटिटी इज नॉट काम, क्रोध, लोभ, मोह, मत्सर, नेगेटिविटी, limitations, worry, tension, fear. Identity, the personality is there. We call a particular culture, tradition, language, this, that. That's not who we are. That is just a cover. This body is just a cover. The mind is just a cover. Who are we really? Aham Brahmasmi. Tattvamasi, thou art that. That tattva, that divya tattva, hamara swarup hai. So when we are aligning deliberately, consciously, with decision, with resolve, that resolve that says that to go hour to hour, day to day, to live in alignment with दिव्य इच्छा, भगवान कृष्ण की इच्छा समझनिए, गीता जी का अभ्यास कीजिए, भागवतम का अभ्यास कीजिए. इसका ये अभ्यास का प्रश्न है. बहुत संस्था है, so many beautiful organizations, सबका आदर कीजिए. Don't criticize. There's no point in criticizing anyone. Even if some people are doing some fanatical things or whatever, उनके लिए प्रार्थना कीजिए. Don't argue with anybody. किसी के भी साथ आर्ग्यूमेंट में उतरना नहीं. चरण स्पर्श करना, उनका गुण लेना. Be aware if there are limitations. There are always limitations. That's okay. कोई बात. God will take care. But it's not our responsibility to solve somebody else's limitation. The only person Sachin has responsibility for is Sachin's limitations. The moment we try to solve somebody else's limitation, we will be lost. Again, I give the example of Yogi Ji Maharaj. Pujya Yogi Ji Maharaj जो बहुत बड़े संत हो गए स्वामीनारायण संप्रदाय में. You can look him up. He's beautiful images. उनके दर्शन करना आपको सबको आनंद मिलता है. बहुत ही सुंदर, बहुत ही पूर्ण साधुता. And nobody can disagree with that. I have actually shown that his picture I used to show them to my patients who were addicted, to drugs and all that. I said, you don't worry about who he is. You look at his face. Anand, Brahma Anand, Divya Anand. I said, you are looking for this through drugs. I said, my God, that's true. I had over 150 patients at one drug and alcohol facility years back. And I would show them what you're looking for from heroin and cocaine and methamphetamine and all that. What you're looking for is the right thing in the wrong place, using the wrong method. Look at this saint. रमन महर्षि का फेस जो, उनके बॉडी पॉस्चर जो, योगी जी महाराज का बॉडी पॉस्चर जो, रामकृष्ण परमहंस की जो आकृति, उनके मुख पर उनके जो भाव है, वो दिव्य आनंद है. वो दिव्य आनंद की प्राप्ति हुए उनको. And that is what we are all looking for. You cannot find it through these vishayas as such, just by expanding the vishayas, by expanding addictions. That is not a doorway. इसीलिए भगवान स्वयं ऐसे बड़े बड़े मुक्तों को, संतों को यहां भेजते हैं. For all of us. We are at their feet, Who are we? We're Sachin here speaking. Sachin is the particle of a dust particle. Even that may not be the right description at these feet, at the feet of these great sages. किसी की भी comparison नहीं है इसमें. वो इतने महान है. They are so beyond. We are not just at their feet. We are we are dust particles at their feet. Charan Raj. This is called Sant Mahima, Guru Mahima. जो बड़े बड़े संत हो गए, उनकी क्या इच्छा है? My God, that is a huge endeavor in life. And once we begin to align in that, Anand, Bhagwan Swayam Ate, Bhagwan says, now you are on the right track. Now you are coming out of Maya. You want to reach me. You want to keep playing around with the Maya? Mahashakti, she will say, keep playing around with these toys. That's all the world is doing, is playing around with the toys of Maya. That's it. But when we decide, hey Prabhu, hey Parmeshwari, आपका दर्शन करना है, आपके पास जाना है, वो अलग बात है. Totally different. It's a decision. Who is going to make this decision? Today's sadhana is this. I'll try to show. Sometimes I forget. Every day there's one sadhana. Today's sadhana. What is our sadhana for today? Can I make a decision? For these two words, write it down. Anukulasya sankalpaha. Anukulasya. Anukulasya sankalpaha. Sankalpah. To resolve to act in ways throughout the whole day. Keep attention just on today. That is in alignment to please Paramatma. Bhagwan Swaminarayan कहते, you know what he says? एक इच्छा जीवन में राखवी कि भगवान प्रसन्नता है, प्रसन्नता। कितनी सुंदर बात है। हमारा अहम is taking us in directions that is damaging the whole world, damaging. So we don't want that. See, we don't want any damage. Stop it now. If there is any damage being caused at any level, bring it to an end. Ask for forgiveness, ask for wisdom, Gnan Shakti, Kriya Shakti, Ichha Shakti, Swarupini. Lalita Sahasranam, again. I want to do that also. Want to go through all of the topic. 24 hours are not enough, It's so beautiful. It is Amrut. It is oceans of Amrutam. Oceans, not just one ocean. Infinite oceans of Amrut. Isko kehte hai Amrut Dham. Ye sab shastra hai, ye sab stotra hai. These are nothing but Amrut. Aur Amrut pina hai. Vachanamrut, Rasamrut, Bhakti Rasamrut. Even the scriptures have this name Amrut in them. So many of them. Because the saints want to pour the Amrutam into the mind and into the heart of the devotees, of the bhaktas. Or Bhagwan ke dham ka jo darwaja hai, the opening of the door into the Bhagavad Dham is what they are wanting to do. जीवन में बाकी सब कुछ मिल सकता है, भक्ति नहीं मिलती, ज्ञान नहीं मिलता, वैराग्य नहीं होता, धर्म नियम नहीं होते, धर्म ज्ञान वैराग्य भक्ति सत्य दया अहिंसा ब्रह्मचर्य ऐसे अलौकिक दिव्य गुण है। और इसमें महा आनंद है, इसमें जो शक्ति है, इसमें जो आनंद है। बट इट बिगिंस विथ Anukulasya sankalpaha. Another way to put that, pratikulasya varjanam. These 2 points. And then everything comes from there. We'll look at the other 4 points tomorrow. It is a decision. And to make the decision, it's not like, okay, it's not a light-hearted decision. Ye mala lena. Always keep mala saath mein hi rakhna. Don't we keep our wallet with us when we go out? Don't we keep our, the credit cards and license and all that? Ye license hi hai. It is a driver's license. Who's a driver? The Atma. Or ye license diya hai, mala, Bhagvat Naam. To reach the destination. Make a sankalpa. भगवान का साक्षात्कार करना है, भगवान के साथ link. Want to keep that linkage with Param Tattva in everything we are doing. This is called Anukulasya Sankalpa. Sankalpa aisa to reach that stage where our Sankalpa Shakti reaches Anukulasya Sankalpa. And when we are able to do that, piece at a time, it is a realignment from within. It is a growth from within. It is a rebirth from within. To be reborn and renew the mind as the Bible teaches us. Bible में भी बहुत अद्भुत बात है. We should not misunderstand that. I have not talked much about it, but बहुत सुंदर बात लिखी है वहाँ. That's why the tradition has survived 2000 years. It doesn't survive like that. इसमें कुछ तो होना चाहिए, बहुत कुछ है इसमें. बहुत सुंदर बात है. So this is the point. Thy will be done. Thy kingdom come. Christian prayer, right? It's not just a Christian prayer. It's not about, it's a very silly thing, silly question. Is Jesus a Christian? Is Krishna a Vaishnava? Is Ramakrishna Paramahansite? These are ridiculous statements. Jesus is for everybody. Ramakrishna Paramahansa is for every being. Is Sajanand Swami Maharaj, Shri Swaminarayan Bhagwan, वो केवल स्वामीनारायण संप्रदाय के लिए है? वो they are just for the Gujarati community? ये सब बकवास बात है. Throw this nonsense out. This is total trash to think this way. Anybody thinks like that, they're totally lost in spirituality. Those saints are not for any limited group of people. The groups are just a doorway. Groupism has to be completely obliterated. And until that happens, there's no chance of realizing God. पॉसिबल ही नहीं है कि सर्वम खलविदम ब्रह्म, वो स्थिति कैसी आएगी? We cannot put Jesus into some boundary like this, or put Ramakrishna Paramans just in the boundary of Ramakrishna mission. That is a means. It is a means to an end. It is not an end in itself. ये बहुत ध्यान रखना, ये भी बहुत important point है. This is why people don't talk to each other. They don't learn from each other. They're stuck in their whatever they're doing. It's okay, करो जो करना है, ठीक है. प्रेम की धारा होनी चाहिए. Always try to learn something from others. Not just my way is the highway. How can that be? Again, go back to Yogi Ji Maharaj. कैसे संत थे? वो क्या कहते थे? जे सारू ए मारू, जे मारू ए सारू एहू नहीं. Whatever is mine, fine is fine. Whatever parampara is बहुत सुंदर. Try to gain something. Try to speak good things of others. Even if there's disagreements, even if there's other perspectives. Otherwise, the masquerading ego will take hold of all of these groups. It doesn't. This is why God realization doesn't happen. Bhagwan ka realization iske liye nahi hota. Groupism is another reason why. Groupism is another reason. It rhymes. Groupism is a cancer. Groupism is agnan. Groupism is a disease. Groupism is a sickness. Groupism is a type of rag dvesh. Me and mine and me and this and that. इसको संपूर्ण तोड़ देना, छोड़ देना. Without doing that, there is no chance of ever getting a glimpse of the Atma. Atma darshan ho ही नहीं सकेगा. One may do thousands of bhajans. बहुत सेवा करो, बहुत ये करो, सब पुण्य कार्य है. Not Atma darshan, sorry. You have to remove the boundary. भगवान स्वामीनारायण इन वेदरस वो स्टार्टिंग में ही लिखते हैं, हम अनिर्देश थे. आई एम स्पीकिंग फ्रॉम अनिर्देश. अनिर्देश मीन्स विदाउट बाउंड्री. इन वेदरस Anirdesh is a name in the Vishnu Sahasranam of Bhagwan Vishnu. Anirdesh comes inside the Gita also. Until we can take those boundaries and psychologically break them, if we cannot do that, ब्रह्म दर्शन कभी भी नहीं होगा. भगवान का दर्शन गुजराती में केવું है, भगवानની ઝાંખી પણ નહીં થાય. Possible is not possible, because those boundaries are part of the ahankar. The boundaries are part of that is not love. Love doesn't have any boundary. हम पशु पक्षी का, when we're seeing birds, animals, what Guru Dattatreya taught, Guru Dattatreya ji, उनका चरित्र देखो, उनका जीवन देखो, वो क्या भगवान दत्तात्रेय. All animals are with him. He's depicted with animals. This is boundaryless realization. Boundary nahi hai. Love doesn't have boundary. Truth doesn't have boundary. Our agnan, our ahankar, our ego has boundary. Boundary has a purpose also. It's not like it doesn't. Sampradayas are there, groups are there, teachings are there. They are there to open the doorway into that state of pure, undisturbed love that doesn't have a boundary. You need to go through a university to study chemistry, physics, biology to get to that point where you graduate from there. You still love the university. You're not called a student anymore. You're called a graduate. You're called an alumni. The alumni get together. They love the university, but they are no longer within the boundary of that university. The university is supported. They gave donations. It's necessary. But you cannot say that University of Delaware has the sole purview of chemistry. Impossible. And then in religious world, this is the big cancer. We think we know everything above somebody else. छोड़ दो ये बात. ये बात ही totally wrong बात है. Somebody says, my group, my teacher, my this knows everything about everyone, and others are all less than me, and others don't know anything. ये कितनी मूर्खता है. How ridiculous and foolish is this? Sachin is not criticizing anybody, but देखना तो चाहिए. We have to see. If a chemistry professor says, I am the only one who knows chemistry, छोड़ दो, he'll be fired the next day. That is not spirituality. Spirituality and true religious development is finding out how to connect with everyone with love. And until and unless we can do that, there is no chance of getting a glimpse of the Atma. We will be stuck inside beliefs and inside ideas and inside, whatever. That is fine. We don't want to be stuck inside beliefs. We want to touch the tattva that we are believing in. इसको कहते हैं तत्व दर्शन. शंकराचार्य जी कहते हैं तत्व बोध. शंकराचार्य जी कहते हैं आत्मबोध. शंकराचार्य जी कहते हैं अपरोक्ष अनुभूति. Shankaracharya ji is not interested in creating beliefs. Shankaracharya ji is interested in opening the tattva to realize that you are Brahman. Not to be stuck inside divisive beliefs. J. Krishnamurti, he threw this whole thing out. Again, that's a different subject. पर उन्होंने जो किया था, he did it for that reason. He did it for this reason because humanity is stuck inside divisiveness. And then there are problems upon problems upon, and how can we even love each other when we don't want to talk to each other? How is this possible? We don't want to talk to each other, and then by not talking to each other, to criticize each other, to hurt each other, to fight with each other, to write bad things about each other. I don't want to go into मैंने इतना सब स्टडी किया इस पॉइंट पर. हे प्रभु, भगवान को प्रार्थना करते कि हे प्रभु आप सद्बुद्धि. We cannot change the world. We have to change ourselves. The only person Sachin has to change is himself, that this should not happen to me. And it was very difficult in Sachin's journey also, over the last 30 years, to not be stuck in all this. You have to go through the organizations, love them, but you cannot be stuck in fanaticism. And this is, you see, this pratikulasya varjanam. Bhagwan, is there any scripture that says you dislike others, criticize others, take faults of others, see yourself as superior to somebody else? Show one scripture, challenge, Sachin will give challenge to everybody. Show one verse in any Sat Shastra that says, show that you are superior to somebody else. ऐसा लिखा है कहाँ? To even use such language, ये भगवान और भगवान के संत का अपमान है. To use this kind of language that we are superior to somebody else. And that is causing so much damage to the human mind, to the damage to families. It happens everywhere, not just in religious life. It happens in every dimension of life. It happens in family life. It happens in extended family life. There's सब अहंकार का स्वरूप है. Ahankar goes all the way out, in and out, in and out. The Jivatma doesn't know anything except its ahankar. इसको क्या? इसीलिए महावाक्य उपनिषद में लिखा है अहम ब्रह्मास्मि, not aham jivam. Aham jivam is a granthi, it's a knot of the ego. It's already 9:10. Just took some extra time here. यही प्रार्थना है भगवान और भगवान के संत के चरणों में प्रार्थना है कि divisiveness has to end. That is just a prayer. Whatever is going to happen, let it happen. That will happen in its own way. Who should it end in? This person. Others, God will take care of others. That's not Sachin's responsibility. It will be taken care of. Keep attention. Just one final example before we go. Swami Chinmayanand Ji gave this example. I heard this many years back in one of his discourses. He says if a person is standing 500 feet from a beautiful pond, person is standing with clothes, male, female, whatever it might be. A lot of clothing is there. And the clothes are on fire. See this analogy. Swami Chinmayanand Ji gave this beautiful, extraordinary, it always stayed with me, after I heard that. I heard this about 15, 20 years ago in his exposition. He said that person is standing 500 feet from a deep pond of water and they're wearing clothes and the clothes are on fire. All the fire has been lit. What thought the person will have? Let me see what I'm going to eat for dinner today. Let me find somebody's fault. Let me plan for my retirement. Let me do this. Let me do that. ऐसे सब, will those thoughts come? There will be only one thought and one decision, not two, to run as quickly as possible and jump into that pond. To stop, put the fire out. This is what we need to do. Run as quickly as possible into the Swarup of Paramatma, because the Jivatma is on fire with Agnan. With Rag, Dvesh, Klesh, God knows all. ये सब अग्नि है. Not that Divya Agni. ये सब अहंकार की अग्नि है. And that has to be put out. But look at the situation of the Jiva. Jivatma thinks, well, I'm burning up, and that is going to just keep burning, and that is उसमें सुख लेते हैं. That some kind of twisted happiness comes out of that. Can you imagine a person whose body is on fire and thinking, wow, how nice this feels? Keep this analogy. Swami Chinmayanand ji, unko charan mein bahut pranam. What a beautiful organization, Chinmay Mission. सब संस्था एक माध्यम है. इतना ध्यान रखना. किसी का अवगुण नहीं लेना. Follow whatever path. There are differences of perspective. सब ठीक है. प्रेम में कोई difference नहीं है. There's no difference in love. That's why people love to go to gardens. If you go to Longwood Gardens, there's people from the Amish community there. Quite a few number of them. Almost every time when I've been there, you see some Amish people there. You see Amish people there. You see lovers there. I've seen some sadhus there. I've even taken sadhus over there. You see, botanists there. You see everybody there. Scientists and children. Do flowers have any bhedbhav with anybody? See, that's why this rose is in the back. For this reason. The flower doesn't discriminate against. It is emitting its beauty to everyone. And even if nobody is there, it is still emitting that beauty. That is the essence of bhakti. That is the essence of bhakti. Right, so let's stop here for now. Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kurume Deva Sarvakarju Sarvada. Om Ganganapate Nama Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Deva Maheshwara Guru Reva Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Guru Namaha. Om Namah Shivaya Shri Uma Maheshwara Swami Ne Namah Divilingaya Namo Urdhvalingaya Namo Anandalingaya Namo Dvatas Jyotirlingaya Namo Namaha. Om Namah Shivaya Om Klim Swaha.